out working on the Riley again after yesterday's successful test drive. It started off being a horrible day. It was raining this morning, so I didn't go out anywhere on the motorbike, and then I got busy on this all day. And well, it's nearly 6 o'clock now, and I still want to go out and wash the MG, which is why that's missing, because I need to take that for a warrant. And because it's been sitting up on the hoist, it's literally full of spiders, cobwebs everywhere. I've been vacuuming them up around here, and the cobwebs actually got so bad they jammed up my vacuum cleaner hose. That's how bad they are. But I have now finished the rear guard stays. All these bolts are just finger tight, and the lock bolts aren't done up on the actual stays, but this is now rock solid. That's really good. What I ended up doing is played around with some tube. These are some of the bits I'd bent up before and figured out, yeah, that's going to work. And by having that bend there, it means this can't go into the body. There's just no way. It would smash the body before it smashed the tube. And I was hoping to make it from thinner wall tube, this stuff, rather than this thick wall stuff I'm using. And so I bent some up, but what I should have done is actually measured it was the same diameter. It's the same diameter mostly, but it's a couple of like tenths of a millimeter too big, and it meant it wouldn't slide into the little tubes that these go into. So I did try sanding one down. Obviously, if I'd realized this before I'd bent them, I could have put them in the lathe and just turned down a little piece on the end. But obviously trying to chuck that in the lathe and turn something down would be a bit awkward now. So that was a bit annoying. Maybe they'll be useful for something else. The other thing I want to do is I've got this tube which does slide over this other tube. I'm going to cut off and machine a couple of rings, and on the rear stay I'm going to weld those to the tube itself, and then there's no way it can go through that other piece of tube in there. The problem is, if this ever gets hit, it's going to smash the body, but it's the nature of the car, to be honest. If it gets hit anywhere, it's going to smash the body. So hopefully it doesn't get hit. But it's not quite centered, but it's close enough. So yes, bent tube came up, same sort of flat bracket in there, welded together, and then smoothed off. Lots of sanding and grinding. Same on the other side. Again, rock solid, and looks good from the back. Doesn't look too out of place. The tube's been bent. To get the length right, I actually laid a straight edge across this tube and this tube apart against the brake back plate, and that got those edges lined up. That worked really well. I think that's good. So I'm really pleased those are done. Next is still have to attach the footman loops for the boot lid. The exhaust hanger, I need to do something better there. That was just kind of quickly lashed together. I had a look at pictures of real cars, and again, that was no help. They're all over the place, all completely different. No idea what factory would have been. Some cars, even where the exhaust pipe goes isn't consistent. One car, it just seems to come straight back, so it's actually the tip of the exhaust is out over here. Another car, I was puzzled at first because the exhaust tip seemed to come out this side. I'm thinking, how did they do that? And it turns out it looks like that car has got a modern muffler that they've fitted up under here. So the pipe comes in through that and then out this side. And again, that's a real Brooklands. It's obviously not factory, but can't quite tell how the factory did it. The problem is none of the photos from period show that kind of detail. So who knows? And they've all been messed around with since then. Yeah, that's solid. I mean, that's moving the whole car. Oh, I need to put my battery on charge. Still need to do the little aluminium piece that goes in front of the screen just to sort of blend that in. That should be pretty easy. And I figured out where my oil leak is from, I think. Can we get under here? Can we see? Possibly. This is the oil pump. And between the oil pump and the engine, this cover that goes on the front, there's this big thick O-ring. And I think that might be where the leak is. I might be able to get a bigger O-ring. It needs to be fatter. This one, it just doesn't feel like it's that secure, and that seemed to be where the oil was leaking from. I can't remember if there's obviously these two bolts that hold the oil pump on. I can't remember if they're threaded into the block or if they go through and there's a nut on the other side. And then I can't remember if you can, I'm pretty sure you can pull the pump off if those bolts are removed. It'll pull down. There's two plungers inside there. But in order to change that O-ring, I've got a horrible feeling I might have to take the sump off, and that's a major pain in the neck. So we may have to just live with that leak for now. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of wiggle on these so you can get them lined up correctly. That's really good. So I think what I'm going to do now is go and wash the MG.